Hey Steve, making you a couple videos. I just wanted to show you some things so you kind of know what's what when you get the jet. Just wanted to show you a couple things. I labeled it, but this is this lead right here with this red, white, and blue wire is going to be where you plug your battery in for your lights. And then I also labeled the light control lead, and then all these other ones are sequencer, or gear valves, brake, your brake valve, gear doors, main gear, speed brake, this little guy right here. So when you get ready to start setting this stuff up, just if you have a spare receiver, plug each one of these into a spare receiver beforehand, and that way you can kind of know where you're going to have to plug it in on your power box. And then, and especially for this guy, maybe put it on your throttle. I'm sorry, not a throttle, but put it on something that way you can kind of control the movement, because this is one of those things where you only have a little bit of throw, and if you put it on like something that gives it full throw, this thing only goes just a hair. So you have to kind of cut down the endpoints on this little servo before you go moving it too far, or you could end up stripping that. So this just activates your speed brakes. And then I didn't have any, and I didn't think about it, but you're going to have to order yourself an extension, or make one. DreamWorks sells them, Chief Aircraft sells them. That way you can, because see, they're not long enough to plug into your power box, and your batteries have to be here or up here for CG. I haven't rechecked it with the lights and stuff installed, and I checked it prior to that. And that's where everything mainly goes. If anything, you may have to. It should be pretty close. You just got to remember, you got to feel your UAT and check your balance once you get everything plugged up. But I marked it for you. CG is 10 millimeters aft the main spar. So feel the UAT, balance it right here, and it should sit just a hair nose low, which is what you want. Your light controller is right here. And by the way, things like this, it's installed with a rubber like glue, it's called goop. I use it on a lot of things, canopies and everything. That way if you need to remove it, it's removable, and everything, and then you just peel the rubber glue right off the thing. It doesn't hurt anything. It makes a real good solid bond, so it won't go anywhere. But when you go to program it, you can kind of see it right there. You'll just have to turn that. There's like a little turn in there, like a little, not even a screw, just a place to put a Phillips head screwdriver, and you got a 3-position knob in there. That's how you program it. It's real simple. Lights are plugged in where they need to be, so all you'll have to do is just program it for the first time with whatever radio and whatever switches you set it up, type deal. But I don't know if you charge your batteries in the jet or not, so all I did was simply put Velcro. That's how I hold all my batteries in. The Velcro is fine. If you want to put a strap, by all means you can run a strap across all three there and hold them in, but the Velcro should be fine. What else? Let's see. Because of the way the cockpit was, the front part will actually stay in the jet. So let me get it here. And it's just gonna, these cockpits are very fragile. I mean, they were all busted up. I had to put them back the best I could when I got them. But you just put it in. It goes on top of the little, you'll see 2 little ply supports in the nose, and then you just push it forward, and then that guy sets in there just like that. And I kind of left the black marks there so you can kind of get These are just, well, they already wiped off, but it had a little mark there showing you how far to slide the canopy. So you can leave that one in there when you take the canopy on and off, which is good, because that way you don't have to take it in and out every time you start up and shut the aircraft down, because I made mine removable with a cockpit and it's already starting to break because the cockpits are so brittle. So my cockpit and my Skymaster, I'm going to have to probably re-glass it or something to beef it up, because every time both seats come out on mine every time I take the cockpit out, and it just beats them up. So I think this is the best way to go for you. The only issue I ran into, it kind of blocks your ECU, your little box for your turbine. So if you want to see it every time you start the engine, you either have to remove this, or what I would suggest is just unplug it, pull the lead out, because the lead plugs in back here, and just mount it right here. Mount it to the top of your controller. That way, you don't have to take this out. Plus, it's here. Your shut-off valve is right there. So, you turn your valve on to start it. You're watching your ECU, so you can do everything back here. Or if you don't want to look at it every time you start, which I don't anymore, unless I'm having some kind of issues, I'll just, not even, most of the time I don't even plug in my little handheld controller. But that's totally up to you. Left you some options. So like I said, it's just held in by Velcro. You could either pull this out every time, which is a pain. I would just either move it back to here, or just kind of check it occasionally when you need to. That's totally up to you. Or you could just unplug it and leave it out of the jet, and then just plug it in every time you go to start. That's another option. But so the front cockpit's in there. Your aft is actually mounted to this guy. So let me show you how this goes. I'm going to have to see if I can do this one-handed. But there you go. It's got two little pieces at the front, which are just got to line those up. And there goes them just like that. And then you pull this back and just push it down. And it goes on just like that. Just remember, you push this down, and that switch, see, there you go, cockpit's down, you have to pull it forward to get it to lock. And because of their cockpit, the way they did it, I had to add this piece right here to cover up that big gap. And cockpits are removable. It's just held in with goop, it's essentially like a canopy glue, but looks nice and neat, Plus, what was good about it, the reason why that is there, instead of pushing the seat all the way back, when you push that seat all the way back, this port, you can kind of see it jets down right there. It pushed that way back to here, so you had this huge gap up front, and you could see right in it. It looked horrible because it's not very long. You see, you got a flat piece here, and then it angles down right here and ends. So if you push the seat back to where it was flush against that one, you had this huge gap here. This gets it forward, helps with CG because I had, it's more weight forward. Left a little gap here, but like I said, this is just a piece of black kind of, I forget what it's like, a foamy color. So if you don't like this, you want to remove it, just pull that off, slide your cockpit back, and of course you'll have the gap up front. But it's just whatever you want to do. I think that's the best way to do it. And you kind of see it from back here. Looks more scale. Ooh, I'm not focusing very much. I don't know if that's what's up with that. But anyways, so that is that. Yeah. Like I said, I hope you like it. These things, I mean, if you put a few of these together, these Chinese ARFs, I mean, they're not pretty, when it comes to certain things like the cockpits. Cockpits are horrible. Most of the time they are all broken and everything. So a lot of work on the cockpit getting it right. So hope you like it. If not, you know, it is changeable. Like I said, I don't use permanent glue when it comes to the cockpit and stuff, because these things, believe it or not, if you leave them in the sun, they will melt. Everyone I've seen melts. My Skymaster Viper cockpit, just from Kentucky Jets, the back one here had melted a little bit, even with me keeping it covered. So the cockpits aren't really good cockpits. They should make everything fiberglass instead of just the buckets. They should make these black top pieces fiberglass, because that's what always melts. So just keep you something covering that when you go fly it. Oh, as far as the PowerBox bus system, you have to, since you're using non-S-Bus servos, you have to program the servos, and it talks about that in the instructions. There's a little button on the terminal, that square bus terminal that all the servos plug in. To get access to those, they're both in the turbine bay. So you flip the jet over, you take the bottom hatch off, you'll see the one for the flaps and ailerons right on top of the inlet. It's really easy to get to. There's a button on it that you have to push when you're doing the programming. It'll flash lights and go through each one, and you just move the control and it assigns it, type deal. The one for the rudder and elevators is aft of the one in the front, and it's on the side. You'll see it. You'll see the turbine, the bell mouth, and it'll be right against the wall, covered with aluminum tape and some ceramic blanket. Just peel that back, give you access to the button that you need to press when you program it, and then when you're done, just put the aluminum tape back over it with the ceramic blanket, and it's just in there to protect it from heat and everything, because the one in the aft for the elevator and rudder is you know, so you still, I wanted to put it in a place where you could get access to it. So they're both in the turbine bay. Unfortunately, you have to flip the jet over to do that, but it's not hard. And I'm going to include, I said I'll send all the instructions with you, with it, when I go, when I ship it. Yeah. Other than that, these things fly really good. Go with when you're setting it up, just go with the stock throws. From what I understand, they're really good. So is the CG, so there won't be any guesswork there. Like I said, I checked the CG without the lights installed, and it was just a little tail heavy. So when I installed the lights, I had the extra battery, and you feel the UAT, it should be right about where you need to be. Worst case, you just have to move a battery forward or aft or something. No big deal, but just check that before you fly it. It should be pretty close. And that's it. Like I said, hopefully it makes it to you shipping wise okay. I'll take a bunch of pictures and everything before I drop it off. That way, if something does happen, you know, you'll be able to see that you know, it happened during shipping. Oh, and as far as the hookups for the wings and the fuselage, you've got three air lines that will disconnect and reconnect right there in and they're all connected through the wheelbase. It's kind of a pain because underneath the jet, but it's the only place to really do it, you know, because you got the wheels in the wings. So every time you take the wings off, you have to disconnect. 3 air lines, 2 servo leads, and then of course your light leads. There should be 2 on each wing. So it's 2, 5, 7 things you plug in per wing. It's a lot, but that's just the nature. That's just how you do it. And that's about it. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you like everything. If not, if you have any questions, just let me know. PowerBox, I kind of fooled around with the programming a little bit. It can be kind of cumbersome just because I've never fooled with it, but after a little while messing with it, it started to get, you know, easier and it's just one of those things that you're going to have to learn how to use and set up. Probably somebody around there that's good with that kind of thing. So you might hit somebody up at your local club, see if you're having problems with getting it set up. I would definitely set it up, fly it, trim it out. Once you got it flying good and gotten used to it, then fool with the gyro. Like I said, that's from what I understand. That's the best way to do it. Plus, you want to. They say the best time to set one up is when it's a little windy. Because I was the opposite. I thought you'd want to set it up with no wind. That way you could turn up the gain until you start to see it waggle or wiggle like you're supposed to. But they say that you're supposed to do it with a little bit of wind. So I don't know. But anyways, that's like I said, a lot of talking. If you got any questions, let me know, and hopefully everything makes it to you all right, and you get this thing flying. It's a good jet. There was a couple of them at Kentucky Jets, and they fly just like mine. Mine anyways flies like kind of like a trainer. It's easier to land than my Rebel Pro is, so I think you'll enjoy it. But take it easy.